This is God's green delicate earth, and you want me to deadhead a petunia? I don't even know what deadheading means, but I'm pretty sure it almost happened to me because I almost died. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or to it if this is the first time you are seeing my face. Thank you so much for clicking on it. I appreciate it. My name is Jacy and I like to do story times on this channel. And today we have a wacky and wild story time that takes a lot of twists and turns because I'm going to be telling you about the recent gardening volunteer event that I participated in, and I almost had to go to the hospital as a result. It gets pretty crazy and I'm not in the mood to dilly-dally, so let's just hop right into this story time. So a few weeks ago, I was on the interweb perusing volunteer opportunities. I try to do at least one a month. Also, side note, if you guys are looking to do more volunteering this year, I'll leave some of the sites that I use down in the description box below. Try to volunteer some more. It's good stuff. So I see a listing for a park beautification event, and it's going to be gardening and a lovely day in the sun. I should actually just read you the description exactly. So it says that the tasks include clearing weeds, harvesting fruits and vegetables, and overall garden maintenance. Tools and gloves will be provided, but please bring your own gloves if you'd like. And that was kind of it, and then just more details. So I said, a nice lovely day in the sun with Mother Nature? Sign me up, bitch. So I sign up, and on the day of the event, I arrive to the park, I check in at the tent, and then I have to sign some liability waivers. And the person at the check-in desk kind of gave me a little bit of a spiel regarding the event's liability. And she's like, yeah, it's just so that, you know, we're not liable if you get dehydrated, or if you injure yourself volunteering, or if you rub up against a super poisonous plant, or get bitten by a radioactive spider and have to become a superhero. You know, that sort of thing. So just sign right here, babe, thanks. And I was like, well, that's concerning, but that happens with volunteering events. That's what happens. So there's about 20 of us volunteers, and the event organizer kind of corrals us all together. And the event organizer was H-O-T hot. His name was Jacoby, and he comes into play later, so remember this whole little tidbit right here. But Jacoby kind of reiterates like, hey, stay safe, like we don't really know what's out there, this park is pretty overgrown, but here are all of your gardening tools. We've got trowels, we've got shovels, we've got gloves, we've got big ass scissors. It's probably not the technical botany term for them, but go ahead and grab what you like and get to weeding. And then everyone did. Everyone grabbed some gloves, everybody grabbed a tool, and then they went into the park and started doing things. And I had no idea what was going on. It all happened so fast, but I was like, oh, can I get like an introduction to gardening perhaps? I don't know what a trowel is. I don't even know what the weeds are necessarily. But at this point I was like, let me see what everybody else is doing, because everybody else took to it like a duck to water. It kind of felt like they were all in a gardening major in college and we're doing their final dissertation, and I'm in like gardening 101 for children. So he says get to weeding, and we kind of all go to our own little square of plants. So I'm looking at this square section of plants, and there's like a dozen different types of plants, and I'm like, I have no idea which ones the weeds are, you know? Like I'm used to like weeds sprouting up from between the cracks in the ground, I guess. Like I didn't have a garden growing up. And so I see like dead leaves and stuff, but I was like, I don't know which one the weeds are. But I take a look at everybody else. People are full on like ripping out bushes. People are full on like taking shovels into the ground and tearing things up. And I'm like, how do they know which ones the weeds are? Like, it feels like I'm God and I have to choose which plant life to kill. I wasn't ready for that responsibility. And here's an example. I'm gonna put a picture here and you guys tell me, because I can't be the only one. This is like what I was looking at. So there's like a lot of different plants here. You have your leafy greens, you got your long skinny ones, you have your more cactusy type ones. I'm looking at all these plants, and apparently one of those is the weed. I didn't know which one, and I wasn't prepared to make that decision. Golly, what I don't know about gardening could fill 2 internets. So I'm panicking a little bit, and I'm playing it safe. I'm not trying to get too crazy and rip out the wrong thing. So what I start doing is there were a bunch of like dead leaves on top of all of these plants. So I kind of just start picking off the dead leaves, you know, like I'm literally berry picking, and I'm taking off all the dead leaves. And I'm looking at the girl next to me who has essentially the same plot of land. And she is one of those people with shovels in the ground just digging up absolutely everything. It felt like we were both given the same head, and she did brain surgery and I gave mine a haircut. So Jacoby comes over and I was like, Jacoby, my guy, which ones are the weeds? Like, just tell me which ones to pick. Like, is it the long ones? Is it the leafy ones? Like, which one? And he goes, oh, I see what your confusion is. Take a step back with me. And so we take a step back, and he goes, I think what you're doing is you're looking for weeds among all of the plants, when actually there's only one plant in this area, and they're all weeds. And so once he said that, I realized we are not gardening. This is landscaping. Everything was a weed. And you guys, I kid you not, I take a step back and I was like, wait. You're telling me that one big deserty plant in the middle is the one plant and all of these are weeds? How overgrown is this park? How many years has this park been sitting here growing in this biodome of who knows what? I was like, there are probably some undiscovered plants and species in here with how overgrown this park is. Once I saw it from the perspective that I was supposed to see it. I wasn't bad at gardening. I just didn't realize how much gardening this place needed. But now this volunteer event sounds way harder. So now that I understand the scope of work that needed to be done in this park, it kind of changed my perception, because I saw how overgrown this park was. I saw the quantity and volume of work that needed to be done. But I also realized that this was kind of dangerous. So I start picking. I get on my hands and knees and I start picking at everything. And that's when every type of bug just emerges from the ground and startles me to all hell. There were insects, but there were also plants that I didn't recognize, and I didn't want to get Venus flytrapped by them. There was also, let me just go down the list. Okay, I saw an albino ladybug. I don't think that's natural. I saw a regular ladybug hidden among the leaves that I was then throwing away. This girl came around and showed us the fattest, fuzziest caterpillar I'd ever seen. It was inches long, and I was like, that's probably a new discovery. There were branches with so much pollen on them that if you tapped it, they would like evaporate into the air and it would look like confetti. I was like, oh, that's probably not safe to be breathing in. And then there was just all these different kind of bugs and spiders that I was seeing that I was like, oh, that liability waiver section from the beginning is starting to make a lot more sense right now. And when I tell you I was the weakest link in this volunteer group, I mean it. There was a guy there who was an actual landscaper. I chit-chatted with him. He was a legit landscaper by trade. He was chopping down the trees like Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan's the tree chopper, right? Johnny Appleseed, maybe? Nah, you guys get it. And he was chopping down so many bushes, shrubbery, and trees that he actually revealed a walkway that they didn't even know existed. The event organizers who like had part ownership of this park for a nonprofit reason didn't know there was a walkway to this avocado tree, but he revealed it with his landscapery. And then he panned to me, and I'm like, ooh, I can't pick that weed. That plant looks too pokey. I don't want it to stab me. Oh, I can't pull that weed. I saw a spider over there, so no thank you. I don't want to. And at one point there was like another volunteer where he was going around passing out some type of gardening equipment that I could lie to you about what it was, but I don't know what it was. He hands it to me and he goes, oh, this is to like prune it if you wanted to like reach in there and cut those off. And I said, oh, no thank you. That plant looks like it would scratch me. I'm not doing that. Literally, if there's one place I'm going on this day, it is not Above and Beyond. All right, mini side story time. Jacoby, remember him from like 5 minutes ago? This is where he comes into play. So Jacoby was this event organizer, and how should I say this? This event was filming because it was like a partnership with too many things. I don't want to like dox it because it was part of an organization, yeah. But they were filming him and they were interviewing him and getting B-roll of him. And it was hilarious to watch because it literally felt like they were filming a sizzle reel for The Bachelor. Like they were pitching him to be the next Bachelor. And he's handsome. He's a man of color. He's a lead in this nonprofit and he's gardening. Those are all green flags of a hot guy, if you ask me. At one point, I think I audibly laughed out loud. They had him like chop down some big ass branch, and then he literally crunched it over his knee like some buff dude and threw it off to the side. That I don't know if I audibly laughed or if I like quivered. It awoke something in me, team. So needless to say, I was being a little flirty with him, you know? I was flirting a little bit, and I had a name tag on. And my name is Jacy. Hi, I'm Jacy. in case you didn't know. In case you didn't know, you should subscribe to my channel. I do this every now and then, and subscribing will give you notifications of the next time that I do, if you're enjoying hanging out with me. I'm Jacy. So at one point, Jacoby comes over, and like, we'd been flirting, but I wasn't wearing my name tag yet. And so he looks at my name tag, and this is what he says. He goes, "Oh my gosh, is your name Jacy? Is that how you say it?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "That's crazy. My name's Jacoby." That's so crazy because last night I had a dream of this girl and she told me that her name was Jacoby, but she spelled it with a silent B. And I didn't know what that meant, but now I realized that that was probably you. And I didn't realize that this was like the cheesiest pickup line at first. And so I was trying to like, cause like when I flirt, I kind of flirt hard. I like to make people nervous. And so I go, "Oh, so what, you're saying you're dreaming about me?" And so as soon as I said that, it fully processed what he had said to me. But you know what he responds with? He goes, "I guess I'm saying that you're my dream girl." Mamma mia, I am flustered. I panic and I was like, I ran away giggling like a little schoolgirl because I've never had a pickup line be that smooth to the point that I didn't see it coming, but that I was also like, damn, it's not even that clever, but like how quick-witted it was and like how actually similar our names were. I don't know, I thought it was kind of funny. This is also one of the first times in my story times that I've used a real name. I try to hide people's identity, you know, I don't want them coming for me. But it was kind of vital to the story. I hope you can forgive me, Jacoby. All right, but back to the event. I finished the event. I finished doing whatever gardening I deemed was reasonable for me. We take some group photos. I do not ever talk to Jacoby again. I was far too flustered, and I was also like, I actually don't want that to go anywhere now that I think about it. So no thanks, bye. Thanks for letting me volunteer. And then I headed home. So I get home, and that's when I start noticing weird symptoms. I am sneezing up the wazoo and my eyes are getting swollen shut. And I'm immediately thinking like, damn, that damn pollen stick got me. It got me right in the sinuses. And I'm feeling really itchy, really congested, and really swollen. And then I look down at my arm and there's this big old red bump. And I look at it and I go, uh-oh, that looks like something bit me. And there were a lot of somethings in that overgrown park, so this could be dangerous. So the night goes on and I'm like keeping an eye on it, but I progressively get itchier. I progressively get more swollen, and then I start feeling my throat closing up. And then I start feeling like I'm getting hives over my body, that like whatever radioactive spider bit me on my arm is now in my bloodstream and coursing through my veins, and I'm about to die. So I'm panicking a little bit because I was like, I have catastrophic health insurance. I can't go to the hospital right now. Just be cool, Jacy, just be cool. You don't even break a sweat when you catch the flu, okay? This is fine. But that night, I was seriously concerned that I was having some sort of crazy allergic reaction. And I truly thought, I'm either gonna have to go to the hospital right now before my throat closes up, or I'm gonna have to call an EMT to stab an EpiPen in my thigh before I die. And I remember it was like at nighttime, and I'm literally like on this beanbag chair, struggling to breathe. And I was like, oh God, I can't afford to go to the hospital. Just euthanize me, just old yeller me and take me out of my misery like the old dog that I am. But I told myself, let me go buy some Benadryl, let me sleep it off, and if in the morning I'm still feeling worse, then I can go to the hospital. Which probably in hindsight is awful. I could have like suffocated in my sleep if I was having an allergic reaction, so that probably wasn't smart. But don't worry, you guys, because I woke up the next morning and I received my diagnosis. And I finally figured out what was wrong with me. So I had swollen eyes, a closing throat, sniffles. I had this bump that was itchy and red and inflamed. You know what I had, you guys? I had a self-induced panic attack. So for a little side tangent, one of my friends recently moved to a new state, and when he got there, he had all of these crazy allergies, and he's like, oh no, like it's because I moved to a new area, I'm not used to it. But the allergies got worse and worse and worse, so much so that he ended up going to the hospital. And the doctors there medically diagnosed him with a self-induced panic attack. Basically, he had worked himself up so much that like, oh God, these allergies, they're killing me, that he made the symptoms real. And once I remembered this and I woke up the next morning with like no bump on my arm and no sniffles and no swollen eyes, that's when I realized I was probably just medically diagnosed as dramatic. Nothing was wrong with me, you guys. I just worked myself up into a frenzy and I convinced myself that something bit me and it was killing me, when that was not the case at all. Or, I mean, and this is also another valid reason, is that the Benadryl worked. It wasn't a life-threatening situation. I just needed some cough syrup. That's all I needed. So how devastating to think that after a life-threatening event in the park, instead of leaving with a hot guy's number, I almost sent myself to the hospital for a reason that was all in my own head. But that's the silly story of how a volunteering event almost sent me to the hospital. Was it a little clickbaity? Yeah. But did you still have a good time with me? I hope so. I'd also like to acknowledge that this whole situation was completely my fault. I mean, I will say that I think the event organizers really undersold how much work we'd be doing and how overgrown this park was. I mean, I read the description of the event. It said we were going to be harvesting fruits and vegetables and gardening. That we did nothing of the sort. And again, I don't know anything about gardening. So this probably falls under the umbrella of gardening. So I guess I just underestimated the scope of what gardening includes. I guess landscaping's included because that's what this event was. But fret not, you guys. I realize that I'm dramatic and I understand the role that I play in my own suffering. So no hate to Jacoby, the nonprofit, or the volunteer event in general. I understand that this was all fully my responsibility. I'm just glad I didn't die. Although you should have killed me when you had the chance. But that's gonna be it for this video. Again, in the comments, let me know any crazy story times you have regarding volunteering, gardening, or allergic reactions. Also, if you guys are volunteers, I guess is the right word, leave a link in the comment below of a place where you find your volunteer opportunities. I'm trying to be more of an advocate for volunteering. This video probably doesn't do the best job at that. I should reconsider. But volunteer, you guys. Just do your part, do your civic duty, but it's also just so fulfilling and so fun. And I had a great day outside in a park with a hot guy. I'll take my chances. But if you guys want to hang out with me some more, make sure to follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And actually on TikTok, I just launched a new Storytime series. They're going to be called Tidbits. And they're like 70-second long story times. Isn't that cute? I just love little branded words here. So go follow me there so you can get little bite-sized story times from me. But if you prefer the longer form content, I've got playlists on here. So just put on a playlist and hang out with me all day. Cast me onto your TV and get a glass of wine and we'll hang out. I'll hang out with you virtually, you guys. But I will see you guys in the next video. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. I messed that up, but you get it. Toodles! Should I have gotten his number? No, I don't feel like dating right now, but it was a pretty good line. You guys want to hear my favorite pickup line? This is what I use in the bars with 100% success rate. I go, "Are you a beaver? 'Cause damn." I'll see myself out.